Welcome to Large Objects Lab number 1. This is, I refer to this as my hardware store. My name is Neil Johnson. I've been in the museum for 22 years now. I've been in this role since 2020. So Dante was offered early retirement. I was given the reins. Talk about panic. I was very panicked. Dante was a very gracious and generous mentor. Taught me primarily rigging safety. My role is not only mount making, but it is movement. You have to get your large objects in and out of its mounts. You have to think about how you're going to install these pieces in their mounts in the galleries. We have restrictions with width, height, and weight. We can't. We have like 11 different build methods in the building. So some of them can take a forklift, some of them can't. So we use a gantry, we use, scaffolding with beams. Any trick you can think in an industrial rigger pallet. I was very jealous to see the Stila presentation. I've heard folklore. I've heard the story about putting the scale on that when they were rigging it. He said he got to 2,000 pounds. He knew that object was not 2,000 pounds. We do a lot of stone weight calculation on the paranoid side. Everything's always calculated a little heavy. But he would always say when he hit 2,000 pounds, he knew it was not right. So he left off. So it was great to see the presentation finally. I got an education as well from that. Handling wise, we have a Gopion purchase lift that's made in France. I've just taken this thing apart. It uses friction. It is an adjustable pallet jack. It's good for 1,700 pounds. Anybody's has to be in charge of the movement. It opens and closes. It has a steel flange that gets underneath everything. We were going to have to tip this over, going from outside. We did this last week outside down here. My calculations, I'm short. I calculated that we were going to vault. We got it rigged before we were going to tip it over. We went through with a taller set of gentlemen. I have facilities union that helped me. There's a crew of 14. They are the muscle behind a lot of our movement. I'm the lead when it comes to the rigging and how things get put in and out of the mounts. They don't have time to learn all the mounts. These are off-hanging things, whatever else they are. So, because of this lovely machine, we measured one more time, and we just tested it, and we made it by like a quarter inch. So it saved 2 full days of work. So I love that little guy. And Mount Maker's Form favorite epoxy. I brought those out just to show off. PC Pool, which is the 3-minute. And then PC Marine, which is the longer lasting. So if I have a larger piece that I need to level, I'll get it in the slings for safety if it's really heavy. If not, we'll tip it and we'll have a barrier in between our objects. And I'll put a little thumb smidge of the quick set. It'll set its distance level, and then we'll lift it off the mount, set a pad, get it set down there. It'll be all secure, a little better weight distribution. We've done this with the larger objects. You'd be very surprised at how much this stuff will not squish with 300 pounds on it. It'll hold a ton of stuff. So we do it in segments. It takes forever, but everything that I have to do takes forever because it's big. I'm showing you a little design. It's the next form I'll do an ugly mounts design. So I make a lot of ugly mounts. You're gonna see a lot of our stuff. It's clips, captures. We don't get to drill out the objects anymore. Previous colleagues before me, 2 decades ago, I have their drill bits. I have their masonry tools. They would tunnel through a piece of stone and set rods and anchors. I'm not allowed to do that, but if they're in the object, I will use them, and I'm very happy when it happens. So this is a little, I call them easels. So a lot of times, this is the smallest object I've actually made in mount for. Most times, if you guys have already been up in the lab, you've seen some of the moves that might have been on a table. They're 200 plus pounds. This guy's only 40. Probably could have went to Brett, but it's stone, so we just brought it down here. My thought with this is make it something robust that if a kid hangs on the wall, it won't be stanchioned. It's gonna hold the kid, parent, whatever. I don't know what the wall is made of. Someone said 1/2 inch. So this is our cleat system that we use. You can always make the cleat longer, add more screw holes. Each screw, if it's a wood screw, 25 pounds. Do the math. We do a lot of math for our own paranoia, so I can go to bed and not be like, did I put enough screws in that, stupid? And mount, and a lot of times the facilities guys are like, you don't need to put that many screws. And I'm like, I want to go to bed at night. This is the little mount style. I call them easels. Dante came up with this idea. So usually it's a flat piece. If it has a flat piece, you can slide it on this steel bottom. So if I'm not there to handle it, if it's our guys, we use a lot of LDPE for slides. It's basically angle iron, or if it's a more delicate piece. This is a style that scales up really well. Does it scale down? I don't really love it. Would I do this mount the same way again? Probably not. I might do a flat piece that's bent. It's not very heavy. Like I was saying, time constraints. I did what I knew. I didn't have a lot of time with this one to learn a new style. I had to make sure I needed to rig this instead. I'm in charge of all that movement as well as this. So it does get a little hairy. I'm in charge of pedestals anchored to the floor. What are we using? This hardware is here because our facilities guys will come to me and be like, we're installing this. They want to make sure this is anchored. This is the floor type. I have to provide them with that hardware, hence the hardware store. We've done hollow block masonry, which I was in charge of learning, spec'd by an engineer that we use. They're really good. They're designing a T-stop, so you can get it up there. So it's a Hilti system, which is epoxy and mesh, grade A steel a lot of times, threaded, unthreaded, that kind of thing. So these little pieces, typically I'll have side holes, so if it was going on a deck, you can put a blank piece of wood up against the back piece, screwed in from the side. You don't have to lift it up and over. I modified a piece that's old that went to New York. It had been drilled out, it had the anchors. I utilized that, put the T-bar on there. I built a bottom plate that it could slide on, that if they ever wanted to put it back on the wall up high, this is a little more structural. They were using flat bars. They could remove that foot, and then you will never see, it'd be like the original mount, but with this little system. We use this square type cleat because if you put 200 pounds on a wall, even if it's been painted 20 years ago, that paint and that pressure will seal together. And when you're removing it, you have two guys, you got something really tall, it's gonna spring up when it releases. It scares the shit out of everyone. No one likes that stress. Curators don't like that stress. Conservators definitely do not like that stress. I don't like it. So we've gone with this square type cleat. So we do those, fabricate those, a lot of extra holes drilled in, welded, and then welded again for paranoia. Any other questions down here?
I see your gantry system.
Yep, so this is...
That's pretty rad.
So he had an engineer come in. There might be a load rating.
It looks like it's welded into.
Yeah, the main is,
I-beam.
so that beam, I've been up there a handful of times and I finally just realized this week that it is steel. So it's going to be back put away. Because it's a steel beam, not aluminum. We have another one here. We never really utilized it because of the room placement. This room, there's a slanted floor. It kind of sucks for level. I'll figure out some other spot that has. I've been praising it the whole time because I lucked out and I have a flat floor. It's level to the earth. My carpet's level. I don't know how, but I love it, and it's my favorite part of the whole apparatus of us moving things. So just that floor.
No.
Exactly. I don't have to shim anything. I don't know. It's just.
Or straight wall.
I think, yeah. Thank the universe for it every day. So our building restrictions, this is the only place this guy will fit. It's off of view. You know, we're not gonna tip it over, like the Hepworth, you know. So this guy's going in 2 weeks for the O'Keefe Moore show. So we'll rig that. Paranoia again, thinking about the pedestal design. It got made before I had to see it inside. So unfortunately, our carpenters, I had to go and ask them, can we open this up? How was it made? Can I add more wood to it? Sorry, I tried to get ahead of those guys. I tried, you know, because I was in design, my previous life, I have that rapport with the head lead designers. I try to get ahead of their designs, ask them what the movement's gonna be, try to interject myself into everything, otherwise they'll just leave you out of it. And they're like, here's something that you're responsible for weight-wise. And I'm like, what? It's going on cardboard walls? What are you talking about? This is not possible. So we have a couple of objects that are gonna be on essentially cardboard walls. So, because I'm in charge of that, I asked for pedestals to go to the floor. So we're gonna rest all the weight on that, tie it back for balance to the wall, with as many toggles as I want. And I don't care what the facilities guys say, because I'm the one that has to go to bed at night. So, but yeah, rigging apparatus. Don't really trip anything in here because it's a fixed beam. If anybody does rigging, a little sketchy. It's only clamped on one side. Don't look too close. So we have portable gantries. We have, if you guys been to 217 yet with the Stila up there, we do a lot of tripping, rigging and tipping things over up there. So we have the portable gantries and those stuff. Great. Can't use the forklift like the Met. I wish I could, but our floors won't allow it. So I'll take you guys to the dirty space. I'm in charge of overseeing the large and heavy packing. Not the design per se, but influence on how much foam, where to place it, how much pressure. So we just packed 2 pieces 2 weeks ago in here before the house was moved. It's been a very busy fall. So I have all this packing foam. If I'm laying down an object, that foam is great as well, packing blankets. So we want to protect everything. We do a poly bag on top of everything. So the slings will slide around. Dante's preference is where it's taught. Met will use a foam right on the thing. That foam will wiggle on the outside and it stays contacted. That's their method. You know, everyone has their different methods, so that's why it's great with just the forum of having everyone just share their stuff is so awesome. All right, we'll go to one more spot. I have a favorite tool that I picked out.